Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another session of Zen Talks for Parents. We are delighted to have all of you with us today. Center has launched Center for Parents portal, a dedicated online space created exclusively for parents. The portal gives parents access to expert resources and articles, online tutoring, and most importantly, a supportive community where parents can learn from one another by sharing experiences and insights. For those seeing this webinar for the first time, Talks for Parent is our dedicated free webinar series created specially for parents. Through these sessions, we bring together experienced educators, psychologists, counselors, and parenting experts to have honest, practical conversations about the challenges and opportunities parents face every day. At Center, we strongly believe that when parents are empowered with the right understanding, guidance, and tools, children don't just perform better academically, they truly thrive in every aspect of life. This webinar series is an extension of that vision, our effort to walk alongside parents through every stage of their child's learning and development journey. So, on behalf of Center for Parents, I once again welcome all of you to today's insightful session in our ongoing Cent Talks for Parents series. Before we get started, just a few quick housekeeping notes. We would love to keep today's session as interactive and engaging as possible. So please feel free to keep the live chat active throughout the webinar. Share your thoughts, reactions, reflections, and questions anytime during the session. And finally, we encourage you to stay with us till the very end because we will have a dedicated Q&A segment where some of your questions will be addressed live by our speaker. Now, without further delay, let's begin today's session. As parents, we all want children to learn with curiosity, confidence, and joy. But have you ever wondered what actually happens inside a child's brain when they learn? Why do some children struggle to focus, regulate their emotions, or bounce back from setbacks? And more importantly, are these skills something that can be nurtured? Today's session explores these very questions through the lens of neuroscience and mindfulness. In this webinar, we will uncover the fascinating science behind how the brain learns, understand how mindfulness influences cognitive and emotional development, and explore practical strategies that parents and educators can use to make mindfulness a meaningful part of children's everyday lives. Whether you are a parent looking to support your child's learning journey or an educator passionate about nurturing the whole child, we hope you will leave today's session with valuable insights and practical takeaways that you can begin using right away. To lead us through today's session, it is my pleasure to welcome our facilitator, Mr. Ankur Rupani. Uh, Ankur Rupani sir brings a unique East meets West and logic meets liturgy perspective to education. With a BTech from IIT and Masters in Engineering, his foundation is rooted in rigorous scientific discipline. However, a deep-seated passion for the science of the soul led him to pursue an MA in spirituality from Naropa University. He has served as a teacher, trainer, and curriculum consultant, and he currently shares his love for numbers and presence as a math and mindfulness educator at Swadha Waldorf School. His work is dedicated to showing that the path of mathematicians and the path of mediator are more similar than we think. Anku sir, we are delighted to have you with us. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Vishwika. Thank you so much for that kind introduction and welcome everyone. So we'll keep it interactive and you can type in. Uh, let's start with just the introduction. Like as Vishwika said, I've been into education space for last several years. Started off with IIT education, and then went to my masters, and then got interested in education, spirituality, mindfulness. Did a second masters in spirituality from US, and that's how then my journey began. Studied Aurobindo integral education in Pondicherry very deeply. How they integrate mindfulness is a very beautiful way done in integral education. And then I've been actually in between I was also a SAT GRE GMAT coach, and during that time actually I developed a lot of meditations which helped the SAT GRE GMAT students a lot to crack their exams. So I'll share about that also. And currently I'm with Swada Waldorf School, again very similar to integral education of Sri Aurobindo, very much connecting soul, head, heart, and hand, a very integrated learning approach. So I'll talk about all this. If you can now share a little bit about yourselves in the chat, where you are from, a little. So I mean, I won't be able to read all the chats, but a few of them I will be able to. So I have Dilip Acharya from Kathmandu, Nepal. Welcome. I can see. Uh, I think the chat is stopped for me or what? I'm not too sure. One second. Ah, yes, I can see. Good afternoon. Welcome from Kenya. So, what we'll do is, while everyone is joining in, let's just take a moment of mindfulness to start off with. I'm gonna just play some music. Just let me know if it is audible. I hope it is audible. And just even if it's not very audible, it's okay. You can just sit quietly. We'll just focus on our breath for 30 seconds or so. Okay, you can close your eyes and just arrive into this moment and into this session. So just close your eyes. Whatever the day has happened, let it go and just arrive now. You are here for the next 40 minutes or 60 minutes. Just keep an intention to be here now. Leave the rest of the day and just arrive in this moment. Observe your breath. Allow yourself to completely relax and be in this moment. And slowly, gently, we can rub our hands, put them on our eyes, and slowly open our eyes. Great. So, that is a good start. Neuroscience of mindfulness and learning is our topic today. Can we move ahead to the next slide? Yes. So, what is mindfulness? Unfortunately, I wanted it only when my enter button comes, but it's okay. Before we look at the slide, can you just type in for you what mindfulness is, according to you? Before you can look at the slide, we'll look at the slide later. But right now, from your perspective, if you can just type in what mindfulness is for you. I can see maybe it takes time for the responses to come. I think I can see a neurodivergent practitioner and consultant. Right to Jake has written. So we'll maybe I'm not able to see live chat. I guess it's taking time. So mindfulness is actually a word which has been coined recently. Original word was sati, SATI. It's a Pali word. Yes, I can see now a response. Control our own thoughts in a positive way is one response. Very good. So You can keep typing in. Okay, I'll keep reading some responses as and when they come. So original word for mindfulness is sati, S-A-T-I, and what it means, the Pali word means remembrance actually. So you can say mindfulness is about remembering. Remembering what? Remembering to come into the moment, remembering our true nature, our true identity, if you go at a deeper level, who we really are. So it's a word which is very practical also, and a very deep, philosophically very deep also. Okay, so as you mentioned, controlling thoughts in a positive way is definitely one. And one of the main ideas of mindfulness is just to be present, being present in the moment, like we started the session, having an intention, like you said, like you might have noticed in the beginning, I said, okay, come arrive and let's have an intention. So having some intention and coming into the moment, that is main idea of mindfulness. And being very non-judgmental, so that is a very another important idea as far as mindfulness is concerned, a non-judgmental attitude towards yourself and towards others. The most important foundation of mindfulness spirituality is non-judgmental attitude. Okay, and last one is attention training. So in a compassionate way, whenever the mind is going away, we are not being hard on yourself, you're just being very kind and compassionate to yourself, bringing it back gently. Notice, and that's how we treat the children also. Okay, so you have to be very kind and compassionate towards yourself and towards the children. Be calm and cool, very nice way of putting it. Okay, so that is what is mindfulness. Now before I move to the next slide, I would like to think about what is learning. Can you now tell me, what do you think is learning? Because we are going to look at neuroscience of mindfulness and learning. So now let's define learning before we move to the, like, let's understand what is mindfulness and what is learning. So now if you can share about learning. And I have one more response: mindfulness is the ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we are doing. Very nice. And you can now type in your responses to learning. And while responses come, maybe we can move to the second slide. So, how do we learn? Learning, whenever we are learning or children are learning, we are actually building muscles. It's neuroplasticity in play. Neurons are getting connected, there is synaptic connection happening. So maybe when we learn something first time, a loose connection happens, then we reinforce it, and a final stronger connection happens. And also interconnections between neurons. Learning which is deeper means there is more and more interconnectivity, which refers to as the gray matter density. They start increasing, and that is what is happening in the brain. So when we are learning something new, neural connections are happening, and that is because of neuroplasticity. Our brain is very very plastic in nature, it is constantly growing, and interconnections are happening. It is something like the muscle analogy. Just like when we build muscles and you're training, going to the gym and you're building muscles, brain, we are actually building the brain muscles when we are learning. So if we understand this, then the connection of neuroscience, mindfulness and learning will become very very clear. Gaining knowledge day by day, Dilip. Yes, very good. Okay, so this is the basic foundation of our session is mindfulness was present moment awareness, going deeper, non-judgmental attitude, and neuroscience, neuroplasticity helps us in learning. So now let's look at how these two come together and play a role. So let's move to the next slide. One very very important part of the brain, which if you attended sessions of these kind of sessions before, I'm sure all of you would have heard of amygdala, right? Very small part in the brain, as you can see over there, that little green dot, almond shaped. Now this part is very important part of the brain. It is the center where emotions are processed, especially fear, excitement, stress, and then it acts as a golden highlighter of your brain. Means it highlights, okay, now what to do next. uh, and when you feel something deeply, that's when the amygdala fires very rapidly. Okay. And now what happens in such a case? Okay. So let's take a look at that. Yes, learning means to acquire knowledge. Learning is the process of gaining knowledge, skills, and values through study, experience, and teaching. Yes, exactly. So learning, when you're learning anything new, all these skills or knowledge is increasing. What is happening in the brain? It is neuroscience. Okay. Or like for example, a skill you are learning, let's say bicycle, just giving us example, you are learning to bicycle, and then slowly it gets hardwired in the brain, and after a little while bicycling becomes second nature. You might know, like you might be able to do many things while you're bicycling or driving a car. So any skill you are learning in brain, the neural connections are getting hardwired, and things are becoming more and more natural for you and easy for you. So that's what the learning process is. So now what happens when we are practicing mindfulness, which we'll do today together at the end, is that actually regular practice helps to shrink the amygdala, the stress center. It governs the fight or flight and emotional panic. So when this amygdala shrinks and the reactivity goes down, then that helps us in learning better, because you are not reacting, all the time. So consistent mindfulness decreases physical amygdala reactivity, and lower stress levels keep your higher order brain centers online. So if your reactivity goes down, and then your higher order thinking stays, the neocortex, that is the front part of the brain, which we need to be active when we are learning something new. So now we are going to go a little bit deeper into it, because amygdala is not all that bad. So good evening, welcome, sir, welcome, Dilip ji, Dr. Rao, welcome everyone. So we'll go now a little bit subtle, deeper into this. Let's move on. So this is what happens in amygdala. Sometimes there is a short circuit. So let me explain you with the analogy. If all of you can just put your hand like this, okay. So imagine this is our brain, okay, and let's say this part is our amygdala and the midbrain and the middle part of the brain, and this is our neocortex, which is the thinking brain, okay. Generally, when we are not very stressed and we are relaxed, everything is working together very nicely. Signals coming in to amygdala, from amygdala going to the brain, then neocortex say it comes back, and then the response is done. That is called the long circuit. But when we are too much stressed and you are in a reactive mode, the lid opens. Okay, it's like the lid is open. Now, signal comes in to amygdala and immediately there is a reaction. This is called the short circuit. So, just like electricity, short circuit happens, many times short circuit happens in our brain. So, it is actually electrical circuit. Okay, there is an electrical circuit, which is a long circuit, is like going here, then going to the neocortex, and then coming back, and then you are responding. And when the lid opens, going here, and then going back, and the response happens. So that we call reaction. You reacted out of anger, or you reacted out of some stressful situation, and you didn't know what you did, because you reacted, because it never went into the thinking part of your brain, and you just reacted. This part is what we really need to understand when we talk of mindfulness and learning, that we want to keep avoiding this short circuit. I'll give you one example of mine only. I had a short circuit recently, very recently, because I was very stressed recently, and it affected my learning and my performance. And I really, literally, like blanked out. Okay. And something like that had happened long back when I was in IIT. Physics exam was there. And because everybody was studying whole night, I also said, okay, I'll also stay up whole night, which is not my nature. Next day, I blanked out and I was so stressed that short circuit happened and I just couldn't think. And I went blank in the paper. So, this kind of thing we want to avoid. Children, Even adults, we want to avoid this kind of a short circuit. Never let the stress levels go up to that level. Okay. So, and of course, how we can do all that, we'll see in a second. So, I hope this part is very clear. Now, what mindfulness does is mindfulness break. So, you can see that on the slide. Mindfulness acts as a circuit breaker, intercepting the automatic short circuit panic and steering signals down the analytical long road. So just like electrical circuit that we have in our houses, and there is a circuit breaker, and then mental break, and then your circuit comes back to normal. Mindfulness is that break which allows again the circuit to get re-established and the signals to go the long route and then responding. Small things that we can do, which we will explore later today. Next slide. Now, one more very important when we talk of learning and mindfulness, because learning has to be, we want our children to learn deeper learning, not short term learning ki ye pada, ye exam clear kiya. No, we want things to stay to long term learning, which they can then use later on also. Of course, do well in exams, but something which goes deeper, becomes part of who they are. And that is when hippocampus comes into picture, because this is the structure which is right next to amygdala in our brain and creates long term memories. Okay. When amygdala fires, it chemically signals the hippocampus, and then it tells the hippocampus this is something vital and lock this into memory. So you might notice we remember only very happy moments, or very sad or very upsetting moments from our childhood. You might notice, if you want, just think back right now. What do you remember from your childhood? Either something was very happy or something, and you can keep typing in chat if there's something where you feel, yeah, yes, that resonates with you. Type yes in the chat. So this is where hippocampus plays a role and amygdala also plays a role. But now you might ask a question. I just said amygdala in the previous one. I was trying to say it shouldn't fire too much. Now I'm saying amygdala should fire. So there seems to be a conflict in what I'm saying, right? So here's the catch. Let's go to the next slide. There is a balance. Okay, we have to achieve a balance and come into the middle. So you can see in this slide that there is a middle place which is the optimum place for learning, for mindfulness and everything, where performance and everything. There is a middle ground. If you are not having any stress and no excitement, then it is boredom. And there is no feelings involved. Amygdala is also resting, hippocampus is also resting, nothing is going into memory. Okay. So purely dry boring information does not trigger the amygdala at all, and without emotional tagging, hippocampus treats the data as junk mail and quickly deletes it. Okay. So it's deleted. But when you achieve the sweet spot, there is a little excitement, little stress. Okay, that's why students sometimes exams are not all that bad. If there is little stress, it's good. They may become alert. Not too much stress, but the right amount of stress. A moderate amount of emotion or positive excitement creates the strongest memories. However, extreme trauma or panic floods the brain with too much cortisol, that is the stress hormone which is released if it is extreme stress, which actually paralyzes the hippocampus and disrupts learning. This is the important thing to understand. So we don't want to be at the right extreme or the left extreme. We want to be in the middle space. Neuro affect the student and teacher. What is the process taken? So at the end, we'll do Q&A and we'll take it up. But I hope everyone understood this part, that we want to come into the middle space. Yes, learning methods and understanding is different than others. So, in the middle space, we want to come where the optimum learning happens. Okay, so let's see how all this can be achieved. Next slide. And the boosting the memory and focus. Hippocampus, so mindfulness helps to make the hippocampus also stronger. All this research, a lot of it is from a Harvard study, which if anyone wants, I can share with you. So it's the expansion volume increases to directly improve memory formation. Actual research has shown that the size and the volume increases, the gray matter density increases. Prefrontal cortex growth, the neocortex, which is the thinking brain, enhances the strategic decision making and working memory. The working memory gets enhanced by mindfulness practice. And last one, and we'll do a practice, a synchronization, neural synchronization of the left brain and right brain. Because when we synchronize, and this is also connected to nadis, right, the right nadi, left nadi, right brain, left brain, that synchronization, when it happens, then learning is very good. Mindfulness also is very good, and you can concentrate much better. So we'll be doing a pranayam, which is Nadi Shodhan, to balance the right and the left, and also a movement practice, which we'll practice. So now we have some sharing. My childhood memories are very memorable. Still remember them like a film, and many of those memories, like I said, will be either related to something very happy. So a high positive emotion could also be high negative emotion. We want to connect learning with positive emotion. So again, I'll share my little story from my journey. During IIT, I used to love to listen to rock music. So, and that would make me so happy. So I thought, okay, let me connect it with studying. And I actually used to play music. Initially, it was rock music. Of course, now it changed to light music and other kinds of music. But what makes you feel joyful, if you connect it with learning. And then I was learning very fast. So you always want to connect learning with something which brings joy, and that connection of emotion needs to happen, and then in your brain the connection happens. Same thing during learning in the school or at home. If you can bring lot of positive emotion related to learning, not fear, not stress, but lot of excitement, lot of curiosity, lot of wonder, then learning is connected with that, it becomes joyful. The emotion becomes joy, and once emotion of joy gets connected to learning, it is gonna do wonders. And that's what wonders happened with me. I was the one, like from my school, nobody cracked IIT. I cracked IIT, and then I went cracked GRE, SET, everything on my own, because learning got connected to joy, the joy of learning, joy of math, joy of physics, joy of science. That's the main thing. And then automatically marks come, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's the thing. So now what we'll do is almost 5:25. We'll enter into practice, then at the end we'll take up questions. So let's look at the some practices. Next slide. Yes. So this is now the practice part, practical takeaways. With children, you don't tell them, okay, now start meditating for half an hour and all that. Micro practices, 5 minutes somewhere 1 minute, somewhere 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. You have to be very first. You have to practice on your own. Then tell your children, okay, come join me. That way. So I do something called Wellbeing Circle, which I'll demonstrate to you in a little while, a small part of it, and you can practice that. Triggers, state triggers. Introduce brief mindful breathing pauses right before study blocks. Always remember, like today's session, also when I started, I just asked you all to do 30 seconds of practice. Always ask to your children, take a break, don't keep studying. Study for half an hour, study for 45 minutes, focus, then take a break, 30 seconds, 1 minute, focus on your breath, then restart. Always take that break, because you are resetting. That resetting is very very important, otherwise your brain is getting more and more tired. And in that break you can also include movement also. Pre-study reset, like I said, pausing for a dedicated minute of mindfulness before diving into new study material clears existing residual cognitive clutter. So basically, what in simple language, there is, when you are learning something, there's a lot of processes happening. So when you take a break, you are allowing the brain to reset, and then you are starting something new. And like I said, last, compassionate return. be kind to yourself and to the children. Tell them, okay, come on, you can improve your focus, come back to it. Slowly increase your time of focus, but first start small. Okay, you can concentrate for 10 minutes, then do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, do 15 minutes, but be focused while you are doing that activity. Okay, so that's the main thing. So now some of the mindfulness practices, let's go into next slide. And there is now going to be audio also, so I'll play it, or if we can play it from here, we'll see. Otherwise, I'll play it on my phone. So when you talk of mindfulness, remember it's not only sitting meditation. It is one of the practices is sitting, which we'll also practice now. But you can also practice in various other ways. Mindful mandalas, play music, very nice soulful music, and let students do mandalas. And I've done that earlier as a mindfulness teacher. I've seen that being done at Swada where I'm teaching. Students do a lot of artwork. Art is a beautiful mindfulness practice, allows the child to be in the now and completely connect and play music, soulful music at the background. Gratitude, writing gratitudes is a very important mindfulness practice. Every now and then, you can encourage your children to write gratitude, have a gratitude journal. You can practice, and remember one thing: practice together. See, when you tell your child, okay, do gratitude, but you say, tell your children, okay, let's do together, let's write gratitude. That's a completely different thing than asking them to write gratitude. Music meditation, like I said, connect to senses. There is a beautiful, simple meditation, five senses meditation, where you draw attention to each of the five senses. We can practice that. Today, I'll give you glimpses of all of these. Mindful intention setting, always tell children to set intentions. So I, like I told you, SAT, GRE, GMAT, when I was teaching, I had them write their intentions, what score they want. I had them make a vision board. One of my GMAT students, he was, in his 30s, and he was married, he had children. So his vision board included his GMAT score, included the university where he wants to go, included photographs of his children because he wanted the children to be with him. He didn't want to just go away to university. Everything manifested. So intention setting, vision board making, these are very powerful practices. And I'll share my details later. You can connect with me and later also for these kind of practices. Dance, very very important mindfulness practice. Don't think dance is encourage dance, encourage them to play sports. All these are mindfulness practices. Sports is a very wonderful mindfulness practice. In fact, when I go to play, I get so focused that I end up winning in a sport even which I've not played for a long time. Like table tennis, I played recently in my PG where I'm staying with very young college students, and they asked me, "Do you play regularly?" So it's just mindfulness. It gets helps you in everything, sports, studies, everything, and vice versa. Sports helps you in mindfulness. Music helps you in mindfulness. Dance helps you in mindfulness. It's a two-way street. Mindful eating, very important practice. Please encourage when you start eating, play mindful music and let it be a very sacred time where everyone is eating mindfully and maybe talking less and focusing, taking each flavor and savoring it and focusing on the food and drinks. That's a beautiful practice. Body scan practice, mindful breathing. Okay, some of it now we will practice and we'll see. As a complete package, we'll do it and you can try it later at home. So, first, now I'd like you all to stand up. I've just played the music, I hope it is audible. Um, so, I'd like all of you to stand up. We'll just start first with a simple practice. So, you've got breathe in and breathe out, breathing in, breathing out. And you can close your eyes if you wish. and breathe in and breathe out, and your hand movements are coordinated with your breath. Now, second movement, breathing in, hands move in a circle, and breathing out, hands come down. Breathing in, hands move in a circle, and breathing out, hands come down. Close your eyes, and this is also connected to chi or prana. So, feel the chi in your body or the prana and feel the connection. As you move down, you're connecting to earthly chi, and as you move up, you're connecting to the heavenly chi. Feel the prana rising and relax, come to stillness. And one more movement we'll do, which is your left hand goes up and moves up and then comes down from the center. Your right hand comes down on the right side, and then you're breathing in. Now, right hand comes down from the center, and now again both the hands. So it's alternate movements, and this is very, very good for synchronization of the right and the left, as we discussed earlier. You can close your eyes and feel that rhythm, movement, and the music, and come to stillness. And now come back to sitting. And you can always do it longer. You know, the longer you do these practices, especially movement practices, and make children do movement meditations. These are called movement meditations. And now we'll do alternate nostril. So left hand in chin mudra, put it on your left lap. Right hand, first two fingers in between your eyebrows. Breathe in from the right nostril. Close the right nostril and breathe out from the left. Breathe in from the left. Close the left and breathe out from the right. Breathe in from the right. Close the right nostril and slowly breathe out from the left. Slowly breathe in from the left. Close the left and slowly breathe out from the right. Continue. Two more breaths. Finish the round you're on and relax. Both the arms on your lap facing the sky, eyes closed, and just become present to this moment and completely accept this moment completely. All the sounds which are happening, the music, whatever sounds may be happening around you at this moment, Just become aware of them and accept them completely, be in harmony. Keep your eyes closed. Bring awareness to your body, a beautiful gift given to us by the divine. Bring awareness to your feet. Notice how you have placed your feet on the ground. Observe carefully ankles, calf muscles, relax them. Relax your thighs. Moving awareness upwards to your abdomen, stomach. Being grateful as we move to all the parts of the body, the stomach, the kidneys, thanking all the amazing parts of our body doing their work silently within this body, day in and day out. Taking awareness to the chest, the heart, the lungs, your shoulders, completely relax them, the neck, the face, and the top of the head. The entire body is fully relaxed. Now, gently bring awareness to your breath. The breath is flowing in and out of your nostrils in a rhythm, and this rhythm is connected to how we feel. Right now, if you're very relaxed, this rhythm will be calm, steady. At other times, when you're anxious, this rhythm might be erratic. So, throughout the day, if you become more and more aware of the breath, you notice this. Right now, just coming back to the breath. Noticing the thoughts, bringing awareness to the thoughts. Thoughts do not disturb us. It is a wrong notion that meditation we should be thoughtless. Just be aware of them and let them pass. You don't have to interact with thoughts, just let them pass by. As clouds pass into the sky, they don't affect the sky. In the same way, clouds of thoughts do not affect you. Just let them pass. And as you relax and observe, you can rest in this awareness, this field of awareness in which all these was observed. The body, the breath, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, all were observed in the field of your awareness. Relax in this field of awareness, where everything is just happening very naturally. The heart is beating, lung is pumping air, everything, all processes are happening so effortlessly. Everything around us is happening effortlessly without you having to do anything. Just become aware of this fact and just be a witness to all the magic which is happening. And with a deep sense of gratitude, you can rub your hands, put them on your eyes, and slowly, gently, you can open your eyes. How is everyone feeling? You can type in. So this is our my some small part of the well-being session. So there is a movement meditation, then I do this kind of a silent sitting, which you can do, and then we can do wisdom reading. We can read a wisdom appropriate to the age group. So if it's younger children, you can use that, or elder children, and if it is an adult group, appropriate wisdom reading. So thank you so much. We can take questions and answers.
Thank you, sir. Sir, yes, we do have some questions. So, Satya Vani has put up the question like neuro affect the student and teacher. What is the process taken? Because their learning methods and understand is different from others.
Can you repeat it?
Yes, neuro affect the student and teacher. What is the process taken? Because their learning methods and understanding is different from others.
Yes. See, things have to be age appropriate. For younger children, you want to make sure that lot of play is there in learning. We can't, like I said, in the beginning, anything boring goes into a delete button. So, for younger children, you have to have play, you have to have music, you have to have games, you have to have art. So all this needs to be their part of the learning. So whether you're learning math or physics or science or chemistry, bio, whatever subject, but you want to always bring back a lot of joy of learning in it by we also interesting experiments, interesting questions. So when interest is aroused, then the learning happens. So like you said, different students have different ways of learning. You have to explore different avenues. Some like to watch videos, some like to do experiments, some like to read, some like to write. So you have to just explore different things to do in the class and at home, and let them discover what is it that they really like, and encourage them to learn through that method.
Okay. On to this, sir. Is there any right age when a child should start mindfulness?
I'm also an art of living teacher. So we have, we have children meditating even from 6 year old. So 6 year old we have the intuition pose, and 8 year old we have they start doing small different meditations, and then after 12. we have full fledged, they have a proper mindfulness practice. So small children, you can start with small, 1 minute mindfulness practice, drawing practice. Like in one of my classes which I suggested one teacher, and she tried, and even before I tried, is just connecting with nature, looking at something in nature, bringing it back and drawing and coloring, just from by observing it carefully, and then without looking at it, drawing while you're playing mindfulness music. So this is a practice even young children can do. So you don't have to make them all sit for meditation. Try different things at younger age. Mindful music, mindful mandalas, those kind of things.
Mohan Chandra Sahu has asked, like, overthinking means multiple thoughts or single thought with repetitions.
Very good question. So, see, when it goes into a loop, it is a lot of psychological thinking in a loop. So it's you are stuck at one situation or one thing, and a lot of thoughts come around it. Like I told you, I myself felt it very recently. So don't think because I practice mindfulness, I'm always free of it. Every one of us, we sometimes we face a situation where a lot of thinking happens around that. So that is when we want to practice mindfulness to calm yourself down and get yourself out of that loop of thinking. So overthinking means looping thought. When things go around in a loop, that's when we get caught. So you want to become aware, bring back, maybe do some other activity at that time, get your hands busy. At that time you might not even want to sit to meditate. You just get your hands busy and do some activity, do surya namaskar, do physical activity, get yourself mind out of overthinking, and then later you can sit for meditation.
So like we today is like most of the parents are working. So if how can a busy parents incorporate mindfulness into their daily routine, not as a separate task to do or add?
Exactly. See, that's why I showed you that slide which had so many things. Uh, e- Everyone eats no matter how busy we are, we eat. While eating, it can be a mindfulness practice because you are eating with intention. You are playing some music. You are setting the table nicely. Everyone is sitting together. Maybe we do a prayer before you start eating, and then mindfully eating. It's a mindfulness practice. You go to take a shower, that is also, you can make it a mindfulness practice. Play some music, allow yourself to have some intention ki okay, today this. So each activity that we do can become a mindfulness practice. We go for walks in the morning, make it a mindfulness walk. So walk with intention, that with every step, I am walking with peace. There are mindfulness gathas which Thich Nhat Hanh has given. You can connect with me, I can share with them. So he's given mindful walking gathas, mindful eating gathas, which are short sayings which you can just repeat in your mind while you are eating, walking, doing different things. So those practices we can do during the day, throughout the day. And little time for mindfulness meditation also is required, no matter how busy you are. We never go out without brushing our teeth. Do you say, okay, today I won't brush my teeth because I'm busy, or today I will not take a bath because I'm busy? Right? Same way, meditation is cleaning our internal this thing. We won't we don't go out physically dirty. Same way, mental dirt we have to remove. So that is required only, it is a necessity.
Yeah, sure, sir. There is one more question on our chat. Like, what is the relation between mindfulness and metacognition?
Metacognition, thinking about thinking. Okay. So that is a ability of reflection that develops in children as they grow. Very young children might not, but as you ask reflective questions, the ability of metacognition starts increasing. Why are we learning? Why the helping children think about what they are doing, thinking about whatever they are doing. going behind reasoning behind things, so that way the metacognition power will increase. And mindfulness helps a lot, because when the mind is calm, it can actually see. There is a very simple activity, that you take a jar. I wish I would have brought it. Let's say a jar of sand, and you shake it. The sand will go all over, and you allow it to settle. And when it settles, the sand goes down, and you can see clearly. So metacognition requires us to see very clearly. Then that clarity of seeing happens when the mind is calm and clear.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for showing such practical examples. We are very grateful for you. Today, we explored how children truly learn, what neuroscience tells us about the developing brain, and how mindfulness can positively influence attention, emotional regulations, resilience, and overall well being. Thank you to the lovely audience. The live chat has been incredibly active. Participants, please do show your appreciation for him in the chat. This has truly been a thought provoking and valuable session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. And please connect. You can share my contact with the audience, and they can connect.
A few things before we close. You can fill the feedback form by clicking on the link shared in the chat box or by visiting the respective event page on the Center for Parents portal by the end of the day. Please note that all participants who submit the feedback form will receive their record of participation by the end of the day. If you haven't already, we encourage you to explore the Center for Parents portal. This is your go to space for expert led resources, but more importantly, it is also a vibrant parent community. It is a warm and supportive space where you can share experiences, ask questions, and connect with other parents who are on similar journey. We would love to see you actively engaging there. And here is something to look forward to. Our next Send Talks for Parents session is on August 21 on the topic Parenting Teenagers, Challenges and Solutions. Visit the Center for Parents portal to know more and register for free, and do spread the word. Follow Center on our social channels and stay tuned for more sessions, resources, and conversations designed just for you. To every parent who joined us today, thank you for your time, your presence, and your thoughtful participation. Your willingness to engage deeply with your child's learning journey is what truly makes a difference. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone.